everybody, welcome to Founders Mindset. In this podcast, we'll be speaking to founders of different industries who are going to be the next big unicorn or the next big firm that you need to watch out for. What are the things that they do for marketing, sales, finance, and how are they going to make it the next big firm is something that we're going to discuss in this episode today. We have Rashmi and Kiran, the founders of Sports 360. Now, what does Sports 360 do? How is it going to become the next big firm is something that we're going to discuss today. My name is Vandana and I welcome you to Founders Mindset. Hi Rashmi, hi Kiran.
Hi Vandana, and thanks so much for having us over here.
Thank you so much for coming here. So, what is Sports 360 and how did you all come up with it and start it?
So I like to say, as being a sports parent, so my son from when he was 8 years old, now he's 18, he's into cricket, he was in sports. So he started off as a hobby in a summer camp, like how usually kids go, and he wanted to pursue and he started doing really well. He's a fast bowler who's also represented under 16 Karnataka. So during his training and coaching, obviously we as parents would take him for his training and onto his field. We understood it's not just buying, equipment, good equipment. First of all, there is a dearth of buying good sports gear in North Bangalore. We stay in North Bangalore in Yelahanka, and he used to go to 6 Cricket Academy, which is at PDCSE. So we thought, first of all, we had to travel a long distance to even buy professional gear. So initially when he was just as a hobby sport, it was fine. I mean, we could just go to Decathlon or places like that, pick something off the shelf where he was not particular. But few months into training, into professional training, he understood his needs. He exactly knew what brand, what kind of gear he needed, which we would have to travel all the way to Majestic and obviously that is not possible online. He didn't want to shop online. So we had to travel all the way to Majestic to the old timers like Olympics or Hat-Trick, and we might not have found exactly on the day that we went shopping. We would have to go back again. So we realized that there is a market for professional sports gear for these athletes who are training. And it's not just going and buying gear. Then we realize there are a lot of support services that these athletes require, like a dietitian, a nutritionist. So to take care, like as a mother, I thought I'm feeding him well. But then I realized there are a lot of things which I was doing wrong, which I was feeding him the wrong thing before his training session or during his training session. I didn't know that what he's supposed to eat or drink, which only a nutritionist guided me. Then injuries, how many injuries the athletes have, and then which doctor, for what injury, which doctor to go. We had to run from pillar to post. Then post-injury management physiotherapist we needed. We realized that there is now an infrastructure for training, but there is no one place where we could, find all this under one roof. And like when we spoke to other sport parents, we realized that even they are finding this, challenging. One would suggest Dr. X, one would suggest Dr. Y. So we don't know whether we are doing it right. We think we are going to the best doctor. So then, a thought came that what if we have professional gear and all these consultants under one roof, where all athletes, parents at least, who bring the athletes, are sure to find what their son or daughter need during training, also have these support services. So that is why Sports 360. So we look at 360-degree development of an athlete, budding athlete. See, once they reach a level of, say, a state or a national, they have that provided by the government, by the national camps. But to get there is also a lot of toil. So we thought, let's support them in some way so that they can get there more easily and it becomes easy for the parent. So with that idea, we started, and since Kiran had retail experience and I found most of these consultants, I knew whom to go, who is good, who is thing, we thought we could combine and bring it together.
Okay, and when did Sports 360 start?
After COVID, we started Sports 360. It's about 3,300 square feet showroom, one of the biggest showroom in North Bangalore. And the whole idea, like what Rashmi told, was that to have all these services related to an athlete development under one roof, so that any athlete or athlete parents don't have to go from to a different place to get one service and to another place to get another service. So the combination of getting all these services under one roof was the idea, and we're quite happy that we have a lot of happy customers today who are using most of the facilities, and they are coming back to us, they are referring others to us, and North Bangalore as of today is also can be called as the education hub of Bangalore, and also the sport center for Bangalore. You have a lot of education academies, close to 38 to 40 education academies, from school to you name it till PhD. You have a lot of institutes, and also a lot of sporting academies for different sports. Not only cricket, you have a lot of football grounds, there is a lot of badminton centers, tennis grounds. So we thought that the catchment was good, and we started a store in Yelahanka.
Okay. And you said that you were into the retail industry, and what were you doing before Sports 360?
So initial years I was working in the banking field. I'm an MBA in finance. So I was working with Overcame and ANZ. Then due to kids' commitments and personal reasons, I quit the corporate and I was at home until we started Sports 360, where I joined him thinking that now I had a little more free time, kids were grown up, and yeah, I wanted to get back to some kind of work or this thing, and it worked. That's
amazing. And your husband, wife too. So how do you balance your personal life and professional life, and is it a nice thing to have your partner as a business partner?
I would say the boss is always right, and she is the boss in both the places. Yes, it's challenging at times. With that relationship, where to stop the relationship and where to start the professional relationship, there may be some arguments coming in. But each of us have our domain knowledge. So she doesn't get involved with operations. I do not get involved with finance and other things. So with that regards, yes.
So each of you have a department.
Yes. So I would say we complement each other, and like he said, each of us have very distinct domain knowledge. So I am more into admin and finance, and he's more into retail ops. And I am better off a back end with written, and I'm not not a marketing person, but he's an excellent PR and marketing person. So back end, I could probably create a content, write down, and any written communication I could do. And he does he faces the customers, or he's on the front. So that way I think we complement each other, so there's not much of a clash, or it's very clear, the roles are very clearly defined.
That's amazing. And I think when we came to the store, you were telling that marketing is something that Sports 360 never did much. So how did it become one of the most known stores in Yelahanka?
Well, that was something, it was my personal decision. I had given I come from an organized retail background. So we had told ourselves that, okay, let's see, without spending 1 rupee on marketing, if we get this number of walk-ins in the first 6 months, that means to say we have achieved, people are noticing our presence in Yelahanka. We are not the only store in Yelahanka which sells sporting goods. Probably we are the 4th and the youngest sports store in Yelahanka. So I had given myself a milestone saying that this many customers should walk in, this should be our conversion, and this should be our ticket size. And to our surprise, probably because my son used to go to a good academy, we started getting in customers from the academy. And we put ourselves into the customer's shoes, try to make a decision for them whether the particular product, that price point for that athlete at that age is the correct product or not. We do not want to sell something which is very expensive to a customer or to an athlete who has just started his career. We advise parents, see here, my customer, my buyer and the payer are 3 different people. and the consumer is a complete different person. The consumer, who is the kid or the athlete, is not paying.
Correct.
It's usually the parents that are buying. Thanks to the internet exposure, kids already know what they want. They have a brand image. You know, when you say MRF, they associate with an ex-sports person who is world famous.
Correct.
So the minute they look at a brand, they aspire to become that, and they want to buy that particular brand itself. But the parent probably doesn't have that kind of a disposable income at that point of time. At the same time, parents are right, because they don't know whether it is just hobby or whether it's going to become a passion. So we advise the parents, saying that if you just join your child for a short duration, let's go in for a basic model. And we convince the athlete, this is not your last product that you're going to buy. This is your first product. So why don't you start from here, then upgrade yourself as and when you grow, your game grows. Then you need a product which is of international class. So we being honest makes our customer feel comfortable at our store. And they go back and they tell others that in this store, they don't chipkofy a product for you.
Good.
So they go back and tell, okay, there is this new store which advises. If you see our reviews on Google, most of them are that we actually step in and try to make, give a choice to the customer, saying you can buy this at this level of sport. You can come back to us. The kid is growing. You don't need a brand, international brand shoe, because in the next 6 months, the shoe size is going to change.
Correct.
So these are some few honest answers that we are trying to tell customers, and we are trying to keep them loyal. And today we are happy. About 60% of our business is coming from our loyal and repeat customers, and the balance are being referred by these people. So that's the reason why I wanted to experiment in the first 6 months, not spend on marketing. Yes, we did. Rashmi did digital marketing, Insta and other things. I come from the old school thought. For me, touch and feel of the product is more important, and the customer should walk in, touch the product, feel the product. We have got an experience center in our store. We have got badminton flooring done up. We've got a turf set up, so that if you're buying the cricket shoes, you can walk on the turf. If you're buying the football shoes, you can walk on the turf. We give away a football to boys to play with that over there. Same with badminton shoes, that's called as non-marking shoes.
Correct.
So we have created a zone wherein they can wear the shoes and experience how the feeling is actually when they're playing the game.
I mean, because as you said, Decathlon also came around 2009 as a wholesaler, and then they became into retail in 2013, and they slowly expanded. And as you rightly said, they cater to the starting crowd. So how do you differentiate yourself from Decathlon, and how do you plan to expand Sports 360 to a level wherein people from all over the country recognizes your brand and want to associate with Sports 360?
So this is just to add on to what Kiran was saying. We have an experience center. We maintain a database. So suppose you play, say, badminton, you walk into our store. We maintain a database of you as at what level you're playing. Okay, whether you're an amateur or you're a beginner or you're a professional. What kind of racket you choose and what kind of footwear you buy. So next time you walk in, you don't have to again tell us everything. We already know you. So that itself is an added advantage, because customers feel like you are very comfortable. They think they're coming to their home. I mean, they're just coming, okay, the last time you bought this, we think you can upgrade to this. Or I think last time you have not used this appropriately, so probably you're not at that level, probably take something. So which is not there in Decathlon. Decathlon is more for hockey sports. Yeah. You will find a lot of stuff. You may go to buy something with 1,000 rupees, you may end up spending 10,000 rupees, which is not the case in us. We will cater to exactly what you need. So people who come, and once you're a few months into training, none of the athletes want to go to decathlon because they're on basic gear. Decathlon doesn't have these kind of services, so we make them feel very comfortable. We think that suppose you're at this level of training and you need assistance of a nutritionist, you need assistance of a physiotherapist. We say you can take an appointment here, you can come and consult. Then it's up to you whether you want to pursue with them or no. So we are offering all these. So they want to come back here, which is not the case with decathlon. So I think that is the edge we have, and with that we want to continue. We want, like you said, if at all we go all, hope we go all across the country. That is the MVP that we will go with.
That is all.
Just to add upon that, Decathlon doesn't sell any brands. It's their own label products that they sell. And we don't have any own label products with us.
Okay. All right. So when you initially started Sports 360, was it like a bootstrapped company, or did you guys go to investors and they invested in you?
So it's completely bootstrapped even now. Well, there's a third year of operations and we are bootstrapped. We are very, in P-Bogs, we broke even in less than the time that we had projected.
Okay.
So we are quite self-sufficient.
Okay, that's nice. And when did you realize that, okay, you wanted to open another branch of Sports 360, and was that location also something like how you strategically placed your first store in Yelahanka, which is North Bangalore, little untapped and not that much of competition?
Well, any business is the first 1,000 days is very important. You will understand if you're there in and out every day, getting involved in the grassroots level discussion to the B&M, buying and merchandising, what to stock, what not to stock, when to stock what. It's also very important because it's also seasonal. Sports is also seasonal. No point in stocking swimwear in winter and say, no, my customers are not coming. Yes, the professional swimmers will come and buy, but there's also people who swim in summers and things like that. So we had told ourselves that the first 1,000 days, we're going to be a single store. We will understand the mindset of consumers as to whether a brand is appreciated or unbranded products are appreciated. To our surprise, a lot of customers today are brand conscious. They already know what they want to buy, and they just come to our store to pick it up. Okay? So, like Yelahanka, there are different other parts of Bangalore which is growing. And apart from the city growing, the traffic is also growing. So people don't want to travel. With both the parents working today, given that Saturday and Sunday is off, they don't want to travel just to buy something for the kid or for themselves. So we are trying to be in the neighborhood so that we become a neighborhood store. As of now, we have planned East Bangalore.
And that is again pretty untapped.
Yes. And what has worked for us is the experience center. So we don't want to open a 300 square feet or a 500 square feet store. Like I mentioned, our new Lanka store is about 3,300 square feet. Now we are looking at something around 4,500 feet showroom. You have been to the store.
Yes.
So we do not have anything where the customer can just walk in, go to that particular section of the store and pick up whatever they want. And my team is there to just assist them.
That's great. And when you said about team, so what kind of people are you looking for to hire in Sports 360? Should they be a sports person, a salesperson, or a mix of both?
So ideally a mix of both would be great. But then see, a person with a little bit of sales or retail experience is what, because then we could train and mold them into what our expectation is. Like he rightly said, we are more focusing on organized retail. So we want to be just assisting people. We want them to say what they want rather than push a sale that you can also buy this or buy that. And that would come, I mean, that DNA comes from organized retail sector. So somebody with experience is what we will look at in hiring. Rather than, of course, fresh, probably for an assistant sales or something, somebody fresh, younger, a person or just inexperienced would do, but we would look at experienced retail staff.
Okay. And what is your plans for Sports 360? Like, you're opening another branch, but after that, how are you going to scale it up? Like, the 1,000 days is rightly said. We get our 0 to 1 to 100 customers through our known circles or through referrals or things like that. But how do we go to the mass, to the customers? Is that something you're aiming at, or is it something to do with the premium segment that you're aiming at?
Okay. The B-tier cities and C-tier cities have a lot of potential. I call them the Nati Kodis. Okay? But they lack proper equipment. Rashmi and me have been discussing if there can be food trucks, why can't there be a store on wheels? It's one nation, one GST. So I can operate with my GST number anywhere in the state. So we have thinking out of the box, saying that let's buy a second-hand truck, get the store built inside, and look at going to Tumkur one day in a week, going to Mysore one day in a week, going to another B-tier city about 100 kilometers radius from Bangalore. See how it works. For us, there is no much of an investment here apart from the truck and the truck driver. So the stock that is going to go around would be what is there in the store. So we are thinking it, we are working on it. I hope very soon we should be able to work this out. And the best part would be once it becomes a timetable, people in that city or that town know that this day this vehicle comes. So if they want, they can always call us up and say, I want this particular bag, can you bring it to us? Or, our shoes, a size is not there, we can always deliver it to them later. So that's the whole idea of having store and having a mobile store. So that's what we are now looking at.
So in this day of tech, you are coming up with this experience kind of idea. So how are you going to balance the modern tech and the traditional marketing idea? Because it is pretty cool, like to go to different towns and villages and sell sports equipment, because a lot of them come from there as well. They are also very much into sports. And
you have classic examples. A boy who was staying in a tent has bought a 5 crore apartment in Bombay. It was his dedication that he wants to play that particular sport.
Correct.
Today he's a looked upon player. He was won the Commonwealth Cricket Cup. He's one of the most successful opening batsmen. I think the fastest guy to do 3 centuries.
Wow.
Okay, so that is Nati Kodi for you.
That's correct.
I mean, some of them are from, they come from second tier, third tier
Cities.
And they lack proper equipment. So we want to approach them. Now we have been in the market for almost about 2 years. We are sourcing our products directly from the manufacturers. So we know manufacturers who are cost effective, give you a good quality product. We want to cater these products to these people.
So then just to answer what you were asked us, I think in our segment, touch and feel of the product for professional athletes is very important too. Okay, they will not pick something online. So with that idea, till now we have not had a web store. That is why we are insisting on this word experience center, so that they can come, and it has worked for us. But now we have observed over this last 2.5, third year that there are few things which they repeatedly buy. Some of the accessories. So now we are understanding that there is a scope of having an online presence for those things, which they like probably shoe wears out for fast bowler in 2 months, and in 2 months probably the foot size wouldn't have changed. So he can just reorder online. So that way, yes, we would reach a wider audience. But again, we don't want that to, be against our philosophy of having a touch and feel experience center. So only products or the services which we think could go online would come. So that's why we're taking time. But yes, next we would have a web store and have an online, a kind of an online presence, a small online presence.
That's good.
So then I think we would bridge the gap between technical and traditional.
Yeah, because otherwise, say for example, we are completely out of, like Bangalore and Karnataka. But say somebody is from Chandigarh or Jharkhand, how will they reach out to you guys? Firstly.
So that is why, so probably for only when they know through our online presence, why Chandigarh and Jharkhand, like he said, in Bangalore, because of the traffic, somebody from Jayanagar would not want to come to North Bangalore. But they might have known, because of the word of mouth of athletes, they may know there is a professional setup. So they would expect something, closer. So that is our intent in Bangalore, to open to stores where we know the neighborhood has that kind of a demand. And yes, with our online presence and with marketing on the website, we could reach at people where they know that we are getting equipment directly from manufacturers. There is no middleman involved. So there is no duplication. Authentic products are available. And always that when there is a physical presence, the online gets some kind of a trust. Because they know they have a neck to catch if suppose something goes wrong, some kind of a product, a defective product goes to them. They know there is a, so that with that intent, we just wanted to have a physical presence for the first 3 years.
What do you think a successful businessman should have as a trait?
First, commitment, passion, and must be able to reach the right target market, like we say. These are the 3 things that is very important.
So, and what about you?
Honesty. Then you need to create a magic for your customer. Okay, and then third one would be you need to work hard. There is no shortcut.
And based on the answers that both of you have said, you inculcate that even in your company as a value. Now, how do you translate this to the people who work with?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Okay. Now, the biggest challenge that we face is, apart from the product, is the service. So when a customer comes to our store and we give them a good service, he expects something better. If not better, at least with the same standard, the next time he enters the store. Right. So let's say Vandana has come and bought something from us, and she's back to my store after about a month or so. And then I just look at her, oh, same repeat has to be. If I neglect you, probably you will not come back to my store the whole time. So service is something which is a tangible product too. Okay. So my staff are trained to say hi, hello to everybody, and buy and thank you, visit again to everybody. Okay, you buy or you don't buy. So in a day we get about 50 to 60 customers on a weekday. So you want to understand, you're working for 8 hours. So you're actually talking for 30 minutes. One is in 30 minutes to a customer.
Correct.
So I tell them you're working for them. You're not working for yourself. You're working for the customer. So you need to make him feel nice the minute he enters the store. So that is the biggest challenge that we face. And luckily, we have had, till today, from the day the store is open till now, the same staff is still there. So we haven't had anybody leaving us. So probably it can tell you that they are enjoying their work. And the work culture is quite okay for them to stay back with us for 3 years. Today the second store opens, we plan to keep our assistant manager as the main manager for that store. Because we know that he's trained, he's known our DNA, how we talk to customers and things like that. Makes me get 2 more assistant sales guys now. And I think we can train them up.
And what if you guys have like 5 more stores? At that time, does the same principle follow through? Because in the stores now, you are there. Majority of the time, or you are there. So as founders, you will be the best salesman to your customers. But afterwards, when it expands and becomes big, then how do you plan to manage this?
Definitely, like what you're trying to say is, if we are not present, the quality of service may get diluted. But I hope we are able to inculcate those values so well in the staff that even in our absence, we don't hear complaints or we don't see bad reviews on where a customer has been neglected. Basic shop floor behaviors like, don't pick up your phone or don't look at your phone when you're not talking to a customer.
Sure.
Or don't speak in a very casual, though they may be sports person, you may say hi and hello, but don't have that very casual attitude. You are still a professional. So when you have that kind of, when you're showing that kind of behavior, even the person who's being attended to feels good. So that feel good factor, we will definitely, even if it's 2 stores or 20 stores, we would want that culture to persist.
That's nice. And do you guys have anything as a weakness because of which probably it hindered the growth of your firm? Anything like that?
Okay. So maybe what I could think is, see, we think we are giving them X level of satisfaction and customer service. But out of 10, there may be one dissatisfied customer who randomly someday may put a review. So, and then to think about what is it that went wrong. That could be a hindrance, that could be a weakness from our, what I could think so far. What has happened. Because there have been instances where I am not in the store every day. And some review I have seen has gone out of the way. And that could have been, that customer could have come like a week or 10 days ago and is giving a review now, and we cannot recollect what exactly is it that he bought or he wanted to buy and was not available. Secondly, I think everybody thinks it's a sports store, so there should be carom board and table tennis. Any kind of, hobby sports available here. But they don't understand that it's a premium. It's for professional or budding professionals. So we are catering at specific sports who we think have a market in Bangalore or in the country. So we don't have, so there are many people who come saying that, swimming ring, learners. So we don't have a gear for those kind. It's not for, so yeah, then we would say probably you will get it Decathlon. So that could be a threat because we are sending customers to Decathlon with Entrepreneurial, but we still want to keep it at that niche premium level. So that could be one more weakness I think of.
Anything that you have?
Well, just to add upon what she said, we are actually having, what do we hear it as, professional guests. And we don't have rings and frisbees and just to add what Rashmi just told. That category we have never kept. So there are customers who come in, they say, sir, do you have a frisbee? Do you have a carom board? Do you have a chess? Ludo? So we shamefully tell them, no, we don't sell it.
Especially now in summer vacation time.
So that is something that we don't want to, as a businessman, we don't want to keep.
Correct.
But that's not a weakness, right? It's a choice.
No, but that's a way of also generating money. And also, you're not catering to a particular customer.
Oh, so the entire thing of being there for your customer, that kind of difference.
And it's very difficult to make them understand why we don't have that. Like I said, summer vacation, everybody wants to play or spend time, and they expect they see a sports board and they walk in, and we're like, no, we don't have. Then they say, Ishtodanli, they have such a big store and you don't have, so to explain to them what our category or what our segment is, you can't explain to everybody. If a kid comes, a 5-year-old comes saying, I want the chessboard, small chessboard, the type, which you get in a toy shop.
Correct.
So that I'm trying to say, it's not a weakness, could be a threat, because when we are telling them, you go here, go there, go to X place, Y place, and so that's
okay. So that would be the And let's try to understand your childhood. Did you always want to be an entrepreneur? Did you ever feel like, I want to start something of my own?
If you ask me personally, yes, I always wanted to be one.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I wanted to be a hotelier.
Oh.
I was quite interested in setting up a hotel and things like that. Probably because I have heard that my great-grandfather owns a rather small hotel, and we have that background. But I started working after my MBA. I enjoyed it. Yes, I was in the service industry. For quite many years, was in the organized retail setup. And then I worked for a UK-based company for some duration. After COVID, we started our own business. Yes. If you ask me, I had a dream to become an entrepreneur from a very early age.
That's nice. And what about you?
Honestly, no. I've always enjoyed the corporate setup. I've always wanted to work. Probably because I've seen my father was a businessman, and I've seen him struggle 6 days a week and not have time. And I always thought, I'll have a 9 to 5 kind of a job, and weekend, Saturday, Sundays off, which I'm totally, now we don't get even Saturday, Sundays. We don't have time with each other other than whatever for work. So I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I'm happy working for someone. Also probably because of my personality, I'm more of an introvert than, so I'm happy with somebody tells me to do something, I'll do that and report. But then, then when we came up with this idea, and when he said that, of course I've seen it, he's an excellent retailer, I had that confidence that it will do well. Whatever support he needed, I said, okay, I will support you. So with that intent, I became an entrepreneur, but I would never have accidental. Otherwise, if it was to me, I would probably not.
And like you said, like you're working 7 days a week, and Sunday is the day wherein I think most of them come to this.
Yes.
So when do you guys unwind and relax?
Mondays.
Mondays. That's good.
I have a very lazy Monday.
Okay. So that's one perk of being an entrepreneur.
Yes. But the other thing also is, back of the mind, you're always thinking about your work, about what's happening. And you may call it as, you have flexi hours, you can go whenever you want to, leave whenever you want to. But trust me, with you, the whole store is coming. You go back home, on the CCTV camera, take a look, okay, is there any customer in the store today? And as a matter of fact, just before the podcast, I was doing that too. Okay? So, I think that's involvement, commitment that you have towards your business. Because I am responsible for everything. It's the store. It's not the brand. It's the store that gets a good or a bad name. So if 10 people have appreciated the store and one has not, for me that one is very important. How can I make him also appreciate the store?
And have you guys ever converted somebody like that who didn't probably appreciate? Okay. Yes. And how was that like?
We had a customer buying a product and they had misused the product. So they came back and they started screaming at the manager, saying that this product is damaged. So my manager said that, no sir, this has been damaged by you. You're not used it like how it has to be used. Then I was in the office and I came up and I asked him, so what happened? He said, this is what it is. I take it back. And then for that second, he was anticipating a bigger argument. He said, we'll take it back. We'll give you a fresh piece. And like for a second, he stopped. And then, are you sure? I said, yes, sir. Then we gave them another piece. And then the next week, he came back with another friend of his. That this store, it's very difficult. There is no warranty or guarantee on sporting products. Because we don't know how they are using it, at what level they are using it. We tell them not to do this. Kids are kids. They may do it. So he came back with another friend of his saying that, why don't you buy here? And then I was still in my office. I was talking to somebody. Came in out of the office. Guy, how are you? So I think we made a recovery there.
That's nice. I mean, so customer service is the major thing for any industry. Like for example, Ritz is supposed to be the best customer service. Even Steve Jobs mentioned that, and it's because they treat their customers so well that the recall value is higher. Right? So I think that's a very nice thing to implement in your firm. And is there any trait of your childhood that you bring into your entrepreneurial journey?
I could say punctuality. I'm an extremely punctual person. I don't like to be late, and I don't like any work to be done late. If there's a time fixed for this to be done, it has to be done at that time. I think that is one good trait, and I would like to inculcate within my kids and the staff punctuality.
I get to back my childhood again.
Yeah, nice.
When I'm in the flow, and so many kids are coming in, so I get to talk to them. Sometimes throw a ball, let them play a cricket shot. So I get to live my childhood again.
And now that you have this entire scaling up process going on, you would require funds and you would require very good people who understand your vision and your story. So how are you going to gather all these things?
Like we said, we would like-minded people. So who either had similar experiences and who understand that need, or who have the passion for the sport. So maybe an ex-coach or people like that who can help us, expand in the neighborhoods, like we said. So right now we are bootstrapped, and definitely if we have to open more stores, we would look at probably the banking investors. As of now, no. We would probably go in for, definitely, bank assistance.
And what about marketing and sales? I mean, you're an excellent salesman, but how do we get it to all of the stores?
Training the staff.
Okay.
The product speaks for itself. Very few people actually read on the product what is written, what is not written. The shirt that I'm wearing actually says on the label what size it is, what make it is, whether it's a full sleeve or a half sleeve, what kind of care I have to take for the shirt to last longer. So there are people who actually don't read whatever is mentioned on the product. I do that because I can explain it to people. The staff does that. So as soon as we receive something, the first thing that they have to do is read about that particular product. What is the USP about that product? What is the technology that the product has, anything, and also gather some more information as to what is the weight, what is the tension it can take, what is the application that can be happening in that, and things like that. So when we talk about such things to the customer has in his mind what to buy. We don't get walk-ins, a casual walk into the store. I would say sports is a need-based shopping. Only when you require something will you search for a sports store and go there. When you enter a store, you already know what you want to buy, in which category of sports you want to buy. Let's say you are a swimmer. You are not interested in my cricket collection. You are not interested in my badminton rackets. You're not interested in the tennis rackets that we have. Your first focus is find where the swimming section is, go there, and see the models of swimwear that's available. Choose what you want to. Try it on if you don't know your correct sets. Happy with it? Come back. In the meantime, if my boy or me or my sales staff go up to that person and says, oh yeah, this swimwear is made up of this fabric. This is the UV protection that the product gives you. This is the wash care that you have to take for the product to last longer. As a matter of fact, we are not telling anything different apart from what is printed on the product. But we are just making it realize the customer can hear it. So the customer thinks, oh yeah, this guy knows the product. So I would say training is the most important thing, and being courteous. These are the few things that we need to incorporate in our upcoming stores so that a part of our shadow is always there in this story.
That's nice. And when it comes to the challenges to be in the sports industry, sports retail industry especially, how do you manage that out? What could be the challenges?
Price. Okay. And the next is discounts. Brands now on an annual basis have started increasing the price by 20%, 25%. And like I told you, my person who pays and who uses are two different people. So if I am a father, I would still have that recall. When I was a kid, a cricket bat was 200. How come it is now 20,000? We have cricket bats as expensive as 1.5 lakhs with us. They come up to us and ask us, why is this bat so expensive? See, even Maruti makes different kinds of cars. In a model, or they also make different versions. So as you pay, so does the specifications increase in that car. You have a budget of a Fiat car and you are going to buy a Mercedes Benz, it's not possible.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest challenge that we face is they ask us, is this original? We tell them, yes, you can scan it. You can see, today most of the manufacturers have a scratch and scan facility. So the biggest challenge for us is back end to source the original product. Okay, that's the main part of it. Because like I told you, we are responsible for what we sell, is what we tell people. And we have done that in the past. We don't go back to the brand, we tell them, we'll go to the brand, find out, and we will get back to you on this issue. If this is taken on the spot.
So I think one more challenge is duplication and inferior products. So right now, when we started the store, Kiran was very particular on having authentic and a certain grade, like say it's a cricket bat, certain grade of bag, because that is the minimum requirement for professional. So he has taken the pain of hand picking from the manufacturers and made it very clear to manufacturers that even if something is cheap, I don't want, because I want to have a standard, and to maintain that standard, because people come and show us online saying that this bat is available for 5,000 cheaper, but 5,000 cheaper what is available has not been handpicked for a certain kind of a play, the batsman. So I think that is one challenge also, to always keep up to that standard and not have any, and having probably the brand sending in 5 bats, one which is a little inferior, which would probably cost our image. So that is also one big challenge.
And how are you managing it? Like you said, discounts, how much can you give beyond this point?
Well, we usually do not give discounts, but the customer is the king. We have to make him happy, and yes, the next amount of percentage of discount is voluntarily given to most of our customers.
Then that is also one more reason for that is because we have a good turnaround of equipment. We don't have something which was manufactured a year and a half ago, which online would be for a 50% off.
Correct.
But we are keeping pace with the thing. So what is probably the oldest item could be 3-4 months or maximum. Because then again, just keeping a bag or an equipment or a packet is also wearing out its life.
Correct.
And we don't want to sell that. So again, that would be a reason why we cannot offer discounts, because they are all fresh. I mean, new arrivals, like how you go to a retail store, new arrival section will never be on discount.
That's true. And it's also a good thing, because the discounted one, the old products, you might just play one shot and it'll break.
And then again, they come to the store that we bought from here in India.
Same with shoes as well. These are like some of the challenges which people often overlook, but they do exist when you buy something which is not that good quality and you pay a low price, like how you said, pay for a Fiat.
Yeah.
So obviously you get something of that quality, not of a BMW or anything. Okay. And what is the advice that you would give to somebody who's entering into the sports retail section? Maybe younger than you guys. What is it that you would say to them?
There is a big potential for sports in India now.
What's the gap actually in the sports industry?
Gap as in,
for example, you guys found a gap, yes, right? And you started Sports 360. Like this, are there any other gaps in the sports industry?
There are many. See, we have only picked out 4 or 5 sports which we think are doing well, but there are many others which are also doing, which are not. Yes. which are not very commercial as of now. I mean, we probably, even golf is picking up, and we haven't, because that is a different niche, different segment altogether. So there still is a gap, and Sports 360 is not able to fill in all the gaps. It's what we as entrepreneurs think we have strengths in that we can deliver. So definitely there's a lot of potential, and with Khelo India and the government taking so many initiatives to promote sports person, the increase in number of female athletes in the country. I think there is a huge market, and having physical presence to cater to this huge market is a big challenge. There is a huge scope. So definitely there can be young entrepreneurs who are, if they identify the need and they're able to fit the gap, yes, there is a huge scope.
Yes, I want to go what advice you give. So hers was more to do with identifying the right niche and building up your brand based on that.
I would say the consumer's awareness is increasing drastically. Today, sporting, after COVID, everybody is focusing on fitness. Dabur Chawalpra's kaake health ke liye banega. You need to sweat it out. So there is a lot of awareness about and when we grew up, it was one footwear for all the sport. But today, each sport has a different footwear, and each sport has a particular dress code. Now, so when they are started to learn it, they want to be 100% confident. When I say a footballer, he wants to wear his football studs, he wants the stocking, he wants the shin guard, he wants the shorts, he wants a sleeveless sleeved t-shirt. He wants a sweatband. He thinks he's complete there. A cricketer would like to wear rubber spikes and whites and headband or a armrest. So, thanks to the growing internet exposure and facilities also are increasing today. So there is a big potential that if we look at, I don't get the numbers, she had done a number calculation as to what the sporting industry is.
Yeah. I can't remember the number.
Yeah.
That's a
Huge. Yeah, like when you were talking itself, be it golf or javelin throw or so many things. So even Sports 360 has that scope to grow and cater it to so many different segments in the near future. Say after 10 years, if you have to look at it, obviously it's going to be a brand that's going to be having, say, 20, 30 stores spread across, say, southern India first, and then we move to the northern India, eastern, western. So will this also be another niche that you will be entering?
Haven't thought of it, yes, but after this discussion, we were like, I should go back and check those numbers, and yes, definitely there is. But like I said, it was the sports that we thought we have expertise, we have some knowledge. Yes, definitely there's no end to learning. We could learn about other sports, and so and you're looking at bigger stores. So like he said, he's helping. If we are able to open bigger stores, we can also add to the product line and different sports. Yes,
That's nice. So the business lessons that we learned today from this podcast is that one needs to know their niche very well, do a lot of hard work, understand like what you did, going to the wholesalers, testing out all of those bats or all the products to ensure that the customer gets the best quality. That is something that is very important for any business. Customer service is something that people are going to remember, and you're using all the sense of it, especially in your store. And when we do that, we take to remember things much better, because I remember when we came to the store, how he treated the customers. It was something that really impressed me, because I would want to be treated that way if I have to buy something. And there was another unique thing in your store was that bamboo towels. I had never heard about it, and then later when I spoke to people about it, some of them knew, some of them didn't know, as how it is so helpful, especially after you do a strenuous workout or you're sweating a lot, right? So knowing all the intricate details about your industry is very important, and to get those right products to your customers is another very important thing. And the values that you have as founders, and training and translating it to your team and then to your customers. So these are some lessons that we learned from both of you. So thank you so much for coming to this podcast and sharing your experiences and insights.
Thank you, Vandana. It was nice being here.
Thanks, Vandana. Thanks so much. It was really nice talking to you, talking about our store, and we also want to see other podcasts that you're having with other entrepreneurs on entrepreneur mindset. So we can learn from those. And thanks.
Thank you so much.